Never apologize. Never apologize, because anybody who's trying to get an apology out of you is trying to control you. A person demanding an apology from you is basically saying, you did something bad, and therefore you should show me and everyone else how wrong you are for having done X, Y, Z. It doesn't matter what it is. Now, the issue, of course, is that if you have done something objectively wrong, it's going to be quite obvious. I mean, like, for instance, you run over a little kid in your car. That's objectively wrong. And of course, you're going to naturally want to apologize, right? Because of course, you're not like some psychotic, right? So if you run over a little kid in your car, of course you're going to apologize because you objectively did something wrong. But when somebody is demanding an apology from you, it's because it's not obvious that what you did was wrong. On the contrary, most of these people who demand apologies are people who are powerless in their lives. And so they're trying to exercise some power by way of you, of forcing you to do something. What you have to do is decide that you are not going to allow yourself to be controlled by them. On the contrary, you're going to just tell them to, go fly a kite, if you will. Yeah, because, see, these people will never be satisfied. If you apologize for one thing, maybe you actually did something egregious, or not egregious, perhaps just something offensive. You did something offensive, perhaps, but they'll demand that, and then the next time you do anything that they don't like, no matter how trivial, they'll demand an apology about that, and you'll be in a box, forced to give an apology for something that might be completely reasonable. You see? And so that's how it works with these people, because these people are passive-aggressive. They are passive-aggressive, and they are people who are actually, let's call a spade a spade, they're losers who never accomplished anything in their lives. Yeah, all they've got going for them is their sense of offense. And so they use their sense of offense, sorry about this, I can't control it. They use their sense of offense in order to control you, because they can't control their own lives. And they feel that their own lives are beyond their control. And so by pushing you, forcing you to apologize, they feel that they're grabbing some control. That's what's going on. Now, of course, is it excusable? No, of course not. On the contrary, it's really despicable to be acting this way. But it's important to understand where this is coming from, so that you know that when you decide that you're not going to apologize, that you understand that you are morally in the right. Because these people, they don't care about what you're doing. They only care about controlling you. Now, when I say never apologize, this of course goes with caveats, because there are moments when you should apologize. And you know when you should apologize? When you have acted wrongly to someone who has less power than you. Typically, for instance, with children. Children, by definition, are going to have less power than an adult. And so when you act wrongly towards someone who has less power and you realize it, then what you should do is apologize. Because when you, quote unquote, bend the knee to somebody less powerful than you are, they respect you more. They respect you more because we human beings are past masters at knowing our relative power in any kind of social situation. And so if you, as someone more powerful than someone else, for instance, a child, for instance, an underling, for instance, anybody below you who has less power than you, less control of a situation than you, if you recognize that you acted wrongly and you apologize to them, not only do you eliminate any kind of resentment that might have grown in their heart, they will respect you more, because they will see how you cede your position momentarily, your position of superiority. You cede it to the person who is less powerful, less in control of the situation than you are. You are ceding that hierarchical position and making it clear that you were wrong, and by asking for forgiveness, by apologizing for having acted wrongly to someone in an inferior position, they will like you more and respect you more, and you will have a better relationship with them because of it. I actually did a video about this whole topic. You can find it right here. But this video is actually not about that situation where you're apologizing, rightfully apologizing, to somebody of an inferior hierarchical position or somebody who has less power than you. No, I'm not talking really about that. I'm talking about those people who are at your level or above you or in some completely other area that has nothing to do with you, and they demand you apologize. You say, for instance, that the sky is blue, and they go like, oh, I'm offended. How could you say that? That's racist. You said something racist. You said that the sky is blue. That's white privilege. Yeah, I demand an apology. That's what you say to those people. Because those people, they just want to control you. They want to control you and use your natural sense of justice, your natural sense of wanting to get along with everybody, your natural sense of just being a kind person. They want to use it against you. That's what's going on with these people. When they demand an apology from you, when they say that you should apologize, you know what you say? You say, no, I'm not going to apologize. And what will happen, of course, is that they will respect you. Because you see, no one ever respected a weakling. If you apologize every time some Tom, Dick, or Harry says that you should apologize for whatever, some blue-haired loser, some skanky little nothing tells you to apologize, you say, no, I'm not going to. Make me. And of course, they can't make you. That's the point. They are trying to make you. They're trying to use your shame, your natural instinct as a social animal. They are trying to use that against you, to control you. But if you just decide consciously like a man that you're not going to give them this weapon, on the contrary, you're going to hold it in your hand and say, no, I'm not going to apologize because I don't feel like it. Not because I haven't done anything wrong. No, that's the thing. You say, I'm not going to apologize to you because you don't rate it. You're not worthy of me apologizing to you. That's what you say. Because what happens is, if somebody is demanding an apology and you give it to them, you automatically raise their status up as your status goes down. It's a power move. Always understand this. Anyone asking for an apology from you is trying to steal your power, your status, your rung on the social hierarchy. They're trying to steal it from you and take advantage of it for themselves. That's what's going on. The whole notion of apologizing, of forcing an apology, of saying, you better apologize or I'm gonna, we're all gonna hate you. We're all gonna think that you're racist. Yeah, we're all gonna think you're racist. If you don't apologize, apologize, you racist. If you succumb to that, you are lowering yourself. It's like a seesaw. You lower yourself and they go up. Do you want that? Do you want your hard-earned position to be diminished so that other losers can lord it over you, can use your power, your status, the fact that they lowered you, use your power to lord it over other people? Is that what you want? Of course not. Of course not. You know why nobody hassles me on YouTube? I've said a lot of outrageous things in my time on YouTube, right? On the CRP channel and the GL channel, I've said all kinds of outrageous things and nobody demands an apology from me. You know why? Because they know that I'll never give it to them. Because they know that I'll laugh in their face. And I would, because it would be funny. I don't care. And because I don't care what they think. I don't care about their little games. They leave me alone. And that's the point. That's the point. When these passive-aggressive losers sense that you are weak, sense that you're going to just, nod and shake your head, that's when they attack. When they know that you're going to say, or worse, when they know that you're going to laugh in their face, then they back off. They give you a wide perimeter because they know. Because these guys, they know who's weak because they're bullies. You've been in a playground. We all know the bully. Who does the bully pick on? The guy who's tough? Does he pick on the little kid who's going to hit back? No, they don't pick on him either. No, they pick on the kid who's too afraid to hit back. The kid who might be big, a big kid, but he's like passive and afraid. He's so afraid, so unwilling to hit back, that's who the bully goes after, because the bully knows that kid is never going to do anything. And the social interactions you had as a child in a playground are exactly the same kind of social interactions you have as an adult. And when you were a kid, you knew instinctively that the bully responded to weakness, and so you were sure never to show any weakness. And whenever you were pushed, you would stand up and hit back. And even if your little fist, missed the target, missed his nose or whatever you were aiming for, even if you tried to swing and just like it was a horrible, it wasn't even a proper punch, it was sort of like a little thingy like that, like your arm waving a club or something like that, right? Even so, everybody knew that you were willing to fight back. And because of it, they didn't mess with you. The same with grown-ups. It doesn't change. We human beings are animals, and we human beings don't change from the time we are infants. We are always the same. We are all struggling for dominance. And right now, a lot of people have realized that by using moral outrage and getting people to apologize, they are getting power. And who are these people? These people, for the most part, the vast majority of them, were losers. They are losers. They were the weird kid in first grade, that weird kid that would piss his pants and cried for mommy all the time, the weird kid, the really just creepy little kid who would run to the teacher whenever anybody looked at him funny. That's who he is. The people today who are demanding an apology, who say, you're racist, you're racist, you're racist, do all this nonsense, right? They are the losers of our society. And they're so happy now because all of a sudden they realize that by this passive-aggressive nonsense, by these lies that a lot of them are telling, by this gaslighting that's going on, they finally have a sense of power. They finally have a sense of like being on top of the social hierarchy. Because at the end of the day, they were never at the top of the social hierarchy because they weren't worth it. There was nothing valuable or decent or good about them. They were always the losers that were properly and justifiably expunged. When they demand that you apologize for systemic racism, you say, no, I'm not going to apologize for it because I have nothing to do with any of this nonsense. I didn't own any slaves, neither did my parents or my grandparents or my great-grandparents or anybody. What the hell are you talking about? Have moral self-confidence. Look these bullies in the eye and say, no, I will never apologize to you because there is nothing for me to apologize for. Do check out my Patreon channel, link is in the description below. I have over 90 videos there that you'll find nowhere else. And I also do weekly webinars where we talk and shoot the breeze about different topics. This is a call-in show, and I do try to talk to as many people as possible, and it's a lot of fun. So go check it out. Like I said, link is in the description below, and thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed the video, and take it easy.